Hi, this is Janet, and this is the Unseen Weave. Well, I've pulled a new thread that I wanted to talk about. Yesterday, I don't know what possessed me, but I had the idea in my head. I think I want to check out what my IQ is. I don't know where it came from. I don't think I've ever had my IQ checked, to be honest. And so I checked it out. I found an abbreviated test and took an IQ test. And I have to be really honest here. I was hoping that I was above average. So I took the test, and there were some parts that were very difficult. I had no clue whether I had the right answer or not. And I got to the bottom of the test, and it says, click the button to calculate results. And I had to pause there for a minute because I wasn't sure if I really wanted to get the results. But I did, and I got the results. And guess what? My IQ is average. It's in the normal range. And my first feeling was disappointment. And right after that came this loud, screaming voice in my head that said, "No, I can't be average," screaming. And then I felt like there were these structures that I had somehow created within me that started to crumble and collapse, just like disintegrate. And I had to sit with that for a while. It's been a day now. So I wanted to talk about my thoughts about this. So my IQ is in the average range. Why was I disappointed by that? And why was I destabilized by that? Obviously, my ego wanted to be above average. And I think there's something inside all of us that we want to feel special and important. And I had to ask myself, who for? Who do I want to be special and important for? And it's for others, so that others see us that way. And I started, really reflecting on that, and it goes all the way back to our beginning. Were we a healthy baby? Were we born healthy? How early did we walk? If we're early walkers, we think that means something. When we say our first words, how old we are when we're potty trained. I mean, we have these conversations with other people all the time, and we're comparing stories, and it's almost like there's a competitiveness to these things. And then we get in school and we start getting grades on standardized tests. And it's all through life that way. In our working life, we get yearly evaluations. So there's always someone evaluating us. And that's how we grew up. And so we grow up thinking other people's opinions is important. So getting the results that I am average and normal, I felt like I was in no man's land. Because when you get good grades, you get awards and accolades for that. All kinds, from the school and from home. It's a source of pride for people. If you are getting bad grades, lower than average grades, sometimes you can get attention for that, or extra help for that sometimes. But when you're just normal and average, it's kind of like, well, you're doing okay, you're not too bad, you're not too good, and you're kind of ignored. Not always, of course, but I think for the most part, it's just like, okay. And so our society kind of rewards extraordinariness when the truth is most people fall in the average and normal range. Most people do. So it's important to look at then this standardized test. So this IQ test spans across many different domains. And the way they arrive at a single IQ score is to take all of the scores from these different domains and then factor them in and average them, and you come up with a score. But within that score, and within that score, there are some domains that you're really good at, and some domains that you're weaker in. But when you average it all together, it comes together. But there were some that you were really good in, and there were some that you were really weak in. So what can I learn from that? So in my case, the way I'm looking at this, within my average and normal range, then there are some things that I probably scored very well in. And there are some things that I scored probably less than well in. And I kind of intuitively know what those are. I'm not very good at spatial reasoning, for example. I'm not good at physics, trigonometry, calculus. That's not me. But I am pretty good at verbal reasoning and vocabulary and words. So when I look at life, sometimes society wants us to focus on our weaknesses and shoring them up. And there's a place for that. But we only have so much energy in this life. We have a day's worth of energy every day. How do we want to spend that energy? Do we want to spend that energy focusing on our weaknesses and shoring them up? And that often requires intense work, stress, tension, memorization. It's not uplifting. Whereas when you are doing things that you're naturally talented and gifted at, it feels effortless. It feels easy. It's not draining. So where do I want to put my energy? I want to put my energy in my natural talents and strength. And exponentiate them even further. How good can I be at this area that lights me up and lifts me up? And so taking this test has reminded me that I have areas within my being normal that are really unique to me, that are special skills and talents and gifts that I came into this world with. I didn't have to do anything. They're just naturally present within me. And there are other things that are not naturally present within me that I would have to work hard to develop. And so I want to spend most of my energy in the high vibe category. But if there is a weakness in me that is preventing me from reaching my full capacity here, which lights me up and brings me fulfillment, that's a weak area that I will naturally want to spend time shoring up, because I know it's going to fulfill this other area here. So it doesn't have that tension and stress and memorization. It becomes part of the passion that feeds my natural gifts and talents. And that's where I want to spend my energy. For example, for me, I was very shy as a child. And so I buried my emotions and I buried what I wanted to say. I didn't speak. I kept that all inside. So for me, that has been a weakness that I've been pursuing because it's been holding me back from pursuing my full gifts and talents. So that's what I've been working on for the past decade. This channel is a perfect example of me practicing verbal expression and revealing my emotions. This is an example of me shoring up that weakness, but it's in service of my higher gifts and talents. And we all have those. We all have those. We all have natural gifts and talents, and most of us are normal. So I've actually put down some bags I didn't know I was carrying even. Those bags of feeling worthy and valuable and important and special. It's me that I want to be that for. It's me. I want to feel that about myself, not from somebody else. And so I feel like I've set down some heavy suitcases that I've been carrying around. All because I took that IQ test and I'm normal. So this was a really good see. And what I would like for the world is to acknowledge that there's a place for everyone's gifts and talents and skills. And not just a few, not just what the world tells you they want, but for a place for the world to honor everyone's unique skills and talents. That's the kind of world I'd like to see. So, normal IQ here. If y'all were expecting anything else, this is it. Ooh, another thread pulled. This is the unseen weave.